Let's get to the money.
Let's get to the
Money.
Let's get to the
Money. Let's get to the motherfucking money.
Fuck the bookies, fuck the bookies. FTB screaming fuck the bookies, 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 fuck the bookies. FTB screaming fuck the bookies, fuck the bookies, fuck the bookies. Middle finger in the air screaming fuck the bookies. Woke up in the morning, grab my little black book. Yesterday can eat a dick, cause we lost by the hook. Can't win them all, so you never see me get shook. Today's a new day, the bookmakers getting cooked. When I spot a dirty K, the 4 units getting played. Always find the value, I would never be afraid. Scary money don't win, but I'm not going all in unless I see a bet I love, then I put my balls on a bookie's chin. Let it all soak in, doubling my bread, winning money with my friends. If you got the itch and you wanna go big, follow Sharpie bets and you gon' really fucking win. This is not financial advice, it's entertainment. But if I find the right price, believe I'm parlaying it. You can see my spreadsheet, I'm winning, not just saying it. Profit in the green every week, I'm never negative. I can bet an ace or a shitty all picture. Pick the right spots cause I'm the K-pop whisperer. Shut up when I speak until you finally get the picture. I'm the best in the world, tell me you getting richer. Fuck the bookies, fuck the bookies. FTB screaming fuck the bookies, 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 fuck the bookies. FTB screaming fuck the bookies, fuck the bookies, fuck the bookies. Middle finger in the air screaming fuck the bookies.
Let's get to the motherfucking monies.
Let's get to the motherfucking monies. I'm having a little too much fun in the chat this morning, but that's okay. Welcome to the best MLB prop show on God's green earth. I'm your host, Sharpie's Bets, and it's Wednesday, so we got the $1 million segment to hold you over on your hitting props, as well as the pitchers I'm going to talk about. So let's get to the motherfucking money. This show is not sponsored by no one. We're doing this out of our own generosity, so I do appreciate those that have found their way over to my channel, as this show is Wednesday, Tuesday, and Friday at 3 Eastern, 12 Pacific. On this show, guys, we will talk the opening lines of pitching props as well as the closing K-prop line 30 minutes prior to the show going live. So do me a favor, if you like what you're hearing, smash that like button. And if you're new to this channel, please hit the subscribe button as well. First guy we're going to talk about today is Michael King versus the Rockies. And I got a few freaking messages from people yesterday I woke up to today like, Sharpie, thank you for saving me money. Oh my fucking God, dude. C's landed exactly on 8. And we talked about it yesterday, guys. They got to add them up so that they've got a chance. Michael King gets his shot now versus the Rockies, striking out 25.5% of the people he sees this year, while walking people at a stupid 11.5% on the year. Opened them up at 7.5 at plus 116 on FanDuel. Now you can get a 6.5 minus 140 on FanDuel or DraftKings. Pitching outs is 18.5 minus 185 juice to the under, whereas earned runs are at a 1.5 minus 155 juice to the over. The lineup is out 6 righties, 3 lefties, and hence most of my write-up is before the lineup. The end of my write-up is after the lineup. So here we go again, guys. But we got to do it in the DMX voice, right? Here we go again. As we talked about the Rockies tax yesterday, guys, and how the books jump people's strikeouts up, knowing no one is going to go look to bet the under. And Cease ended up getting hooked last night, guys, and ended on 8. I'm not going to say that's the right move every time, as I've just learned when they fuck with them, I don't, unless I can see it and understand it. And I didn't get that one. Now I didn't understand the Gilbert one yesterday either, even though I wanted his over and it hit. And I understood the green one, guys, and I wanted his under and it hits. So it's understanding what the books do as well as capping the game. And the books are giving us, guys, a Rockies tax on pretty much everyone. And the time they don't is the time we got to be like, ruh-roh, Shaggy, as the books don't give out free money. Now, King has only hit the over 7.5, 2 of his 8 starts, as well as coming off of his best game to date versus a Dodgers team who was crushing the baseball. He went 7 innings, 1 run while punching out 11. And before I go with that, it was actually the first time in the history of baseball where both starting pitchers went 7 innings, allowed 1 run or less, and had 10 strikeouts or more each. So that was just a game of games between him and Glasnow. Now, the question is can we bet him now? And I'd like to say it's not a clear-cut no like it was for Cease with me yesterday. We have a situation here with King that he has not seen a team this year who is whiffing, chasing and not making contact when they chase. As yes, he's seen the Rockies in Colorado, where his breaking pitches just don't play, as that was his first ever game in Colorado, and we don't fuck around with people like that. So we'll throw that one out. As he hasn't even played a team this year that's in the bottom 5 of any 3 of those categories that I just read out alone. Let alone, guys, the Rockies are bottom 5 in every category that I said: whiffing, chasing, and not making contact when they chase. This can be one of them days, guys, for King, as he hasn't had the right matchup yet, or at least not on sea level. So lineups pending, guys. I'm going to look to get on his over today, as yes, they had to jump him up. But if he had any other decent matchups this year, we would have seen an 8.5 like we did with Cease. But because of that, we get a 7.5. As guys, he's faced the Dodgers 3 times, the Giants 2 times. He played a game in Colorado. He's seen the Brewers and the Phillies and the Diamondbacks. Yeah, none of those teams whiff. The Phillies and Brewers are bottom 6 and 7 in chase contact, and King went out and had 6 and 10 those days. Yet none are top 10 in chasing, and the Rockies are second worst team in the league in all 3 categories, like I said. A dream matchup with a raised number that should be raised even higher, if you ask me. But thanks to who he has played, they opened it at a 7.5. And thanks to the lineup, we get it dropped down to a 6.5, guys, as they added in Stallings and they added in Cave. And if you look at their K percentages over the last 2 weeks, they don't strike out. But I'm going to tell you, I'm not looking at their K percentage. I'm looking at chase contact. I'm looking at chase. And I'm looking at a lineup right here that this man just hasn't seen yet this year. I have 6 people that are chasing. I have, what is it? Well, let me make sure I rate it right. Oh, okay. 6 people who are chasing, while 8 guys who don't make contact when they chase, guys. I've got at least 6 guys that could strike out once. I've only got 1 guy in this lineup who technically shouldn't strike out, and I've got action at the other 2. I'm on the over 6.5 at -140. Give me some Michael King today, please, and thank you. And I really don't hate like a mini ladder spot up to 9, guys, as the only time he's faced a team like this, it didn't fucking count. It was the last game of spring training versus the Mariners. We know the Mariners are top 5, just like the Rockies in all 3 of those terrible ass categories. And guess what he did to them in the last game of spring training? He had 7 strikeouts on just 76 pitches. Give him another inning or 2, and what does that man land on? I don't really fucking care. I just need 7, but I really think this is a spot where this man could end on 9 today. Let's talk about another guy who at first I thought this was going to be an easy fucking under. Matter of fact, we should play the Undertaker music when we think it's enough. Oh my God! And that's where we get into Brian Wu, guys, versus the Royals, where he's striking people out last year at a 25% clip and walking people just 8.5% of the time, as this will be a second game this year. Morning line was 4.5, -142 to the over on FanDuel. Now you can get a -122 to the 4.5 on FanDuel. Pitching outs was not available and won't be available because he is on a pitch count. Earn runs is at 1.5, -150, juice to the over. Projected lineup is no longer projected. We got 5 lefties, 4 righties, all but Garcia. That was in the projected lineup is not in the Garcia is the one who's not in the lineup. They ended up putting Fremlin or Freeman or something like that in the game for him. So now, guys, we got Brian Wu, who cast us an under versus the A's last week. And the A's suck, right? No, they don't suck no more. They're my friends, bro. I'm not afraid to bet unders with the A's no more. Maybe I am, but I'll take what we can get. Granted, guys, he did get taken out of the game due to forearm tightness, yet he did throw 62 pitches, and yet he only had 3 punch-outs and wasn't going to cash his over, as he was on a pitch count of no more than 80, and that's where we got to cap him again today, as he never pushed himself up to the 80, then to be ready to go 90, guys. So we get Wu on a pitch count again versus a no-fly zone in the Royals. As over the last 15 days, they're not walking, yet only striking out 18% of their at-bats, while middle of the pack in isolated power. We talked about it last week, guys, with Wu. And until Wu can fix his issues, and his issues have been lefties, because last year out of 153 qualified pitchers, he was ranked 142 versus lefties. So when they load up a lefty lineup like this, there's no way I could look to go over. He is pretty much a 2-pitch pitcher, and his shit don't just play versus lefties. He was working on stuff in spring training versus lefties on extra pitches, guys, but yet he got hurt. then he had to get ready in the minors. And was he really using it as a learn some pitches, or was he ramping himself up to get ready to throw 60, 70 pitches? And that's exactly what I think he was doing, guys. It's going to take this time to feel comfortable throwing different pitches in games that actually mean something, in situations that actually mean something, guys. This projected lineup, which is no longer projected, we have 5 lefties, and I think I'm good. As yeah, most of this lineup doesn't miss fastballs and cutters, yet 7 of the 9 are league average or worse when it comes to whiffing to a sweeper or a slider, and all are worse than league average when it comes to, or 7 of the 9 are worse than league average when it comes to whiffing at a sweeper, and 8 of the 9 are worse than average when it comes to whiffing to a slider. So yeah, guys, if he gets 2 strikes on any one of these guys in this lineup, he can fucking get them. And that to me is enough for me just to say, you know what? Damn, I thought this was going to be a spot, guys, because when he played no fly zones last year, he was 1-2 to the over 4.5, averaging just 3.6 strikeouts a game. So I could see the under, guys. But then again, I can see the over with how many of these guys struggle versus his slider or his sweeper. Granted, he's got to get to 2 strikes. Granted, he's on a pitch count. There's no way am I going to take a guy over on a pitch count. But I could see the over hitting here is the reason why I do not want the under, guys. It's the same reason why I stayed off John Gray versus the Royals. John Gray is fastball slider. John Gray had no reason to go out there and strike out 7 Royals that day, guys, but he did because 8 of these guys struggle versus this man's out pitch. Now he has to get there. Now John Gray also has a better K percentage versus lefties than Wu, so I'm not going to say they're the exact same pitcher, but I can see a way to how this guy ends up with 5 strikeouts today. That's why I'm not going to bet his under. Now, a guy that I want to bet is over, and we're waiting on lineups, and we do have some lineups coming out, and Jonathan India was scratched. That was the only news I've got right there. So those of you guys wondering, Jonathan India is scratched. Now we're going to talk us one of my favorite guys, and I ain't going to lie, I was probably the leader of this guy last year. I guarantee you not many people knew about him. I was one of the first to start betting this guy. I used to tell people, hey, bro, there's plenty of room on the Taj Bradley train. There ain't that much room on my train no more, guys. So get in where you fit in, and let's talk some Taj Bradley at the Red Sox. Striking people out last year at a 28% clip while walking people 8.5% of the time, as this is his second game this season. Morning line was 5.5, minus 110 on DraftKings. It's now minus 118 to that 5.5 on FanDuel. Pitching outs opened up 15.5, minus 155 to the under. It is now minus 125 to the over. Earned runs are at a 2.5, minus 155 juice to the over. And now it flipped. It's now at a 2.5, minus 130 juice to the under. Projected lineup is 5 righties and 4 lefties. In about 3 minutes, guys, we're going to get into the hitting props. We're going to cover Taj and get right into C-Mac. Our boy Taj Bradley, guys, is back. After his first game of the season came versus the Yankees last week, he went 6 innings, 1-run ball while punching out 7. And now he gets a shot at the Red Sox, who over the last 15 days are walking below league average, striking out 25.5% of their at-bats while being bottom 10 in isolated power. And this actually means something to me, guys, as we've got the book to compare it to, as Taj plays the Red Sox 2 times last year. His very first game in the big leagues, at the beginning of the year, where no numbers were there to look at for the lineup, and he went 5 innings and had 8 punch-outs. The next time he seen them was in June, where he went 5 innings with 6 punch-outs. And when we look at that lineup, it's almost exactly what the overall numbers for the Red Sox today are. They were not walking. They were striking out 25.5% with a bottom 12 isolated power, as well as the Red Sox running 6 lefties that day. And I say that because since he's been in the majors, he's striking out lefties at a crazy 32% compared to a solid 24% from the right-handed side. As in the minors, it was switched. He handled righties, and he had issues with lefties, and people kept betting and banking against him that it was going to turn around and come around, that his minor league statistics were going to freaking turn. No, Taj just kept handling lefties in the big leagues, and I get it, guys. He uses his split finger to lefties only, and that's a pitch when you throw 97 miles per hour and you're sitting on that, you're going to freaking whiff and die on. And that's a pitch that I look for when I'm playing versus the Red Sox, as we do have a lot of guys who are gung-ho fastball and they can't hit a splitter. As a la Rafael Devers in his 6 at-bats has struck out 3 times to Taj Bradley. Now, when I go through this lineup, guys, and we look at this projected lineup, we have 4 lefties. And 3 of those 4 lefties are in the first 4 at-bats. So let's just go see who struggles versus his pitch mix, as he throws a fastball cutter to both sides, then curveball to righties and split curve to lefties. We only got 1 guy in this projected lineup I can say he probably don't strike out, with 3 guys who can strike out more than once in Abreu, Devers, and Rafala. And 2 of those 3 guys are in the top 4, so which means he's probably going to see him 3 times. Now, 5 of the 9 guys projected do not struggle versus the curve, but out of those 5, only 1 doesn't struggle versus a cutter. So, I mean, not the curve. I mean, 5 of the 9 guys don't struggle versus the fastball. So when you look at him and you're going to look at his main pitch and be like, oh, they don't struggle versus the fastball. Well, go into the cutter, as he throws the cutter 20% of the time as well. And then we've got 7 of those 9 that do struggle, guys. So when we look at his other 3 pitches, this guy's got mass action today, guys. So once the lineups come out, I will be looking to run Taj Bradley over 5.5, as this is just a good matchup for him. The more lefties, the better. And yeah, can't wait to bet me a little bit of Tajathan on this Wednesday afternoon. It's about time, guys, to get into some hitting props. And that means I can sit back and get high while we listen and talk a little basketball. Yeah, what's up, my boy? How you been? You're muted. It shows you unmuted, but I don't hear you.
Can you hear?
Yep, now I hear you.
Okay.
What up, though?
I'm good. Let's I am all right. How are you doing?
Actually, I'm chilling, bro. They just came out with the lineup that I was just talking about. So as you talk little hitting props, I'm going to run this Red Sox lineup, because they did change 1 or 2 people, but, you know, nothing crazy.
Yeah. Let's hit these early games real quick. I don't have anything. We have an over umpire in this Rockies-Padres. This seems like an under, and we've had overs the last 2 days in those games where they scored runs. Rockies actually scored runs red hot, won whatever 5 or 6 in a row. Can they do it again? And Michael King's been on or nothing. I think you touched on him at the top. So, man, but they're hot. I think you look Ryan McMahon, go back to a few of those guys. In this other game, there's a few that stood out, but I like the under a little bit in Royals Mariners. I didn't bet it. It's at 8. There's a few 7.5. We'll see if Marsh has been so good, and we'll see with Wu. He dominated the Myers in that last start against the A's, and then he left. How long will he go out here? I'm not so sure. But those are those. Let's get to these. You mentioned a guy who's been really good, but he's got tattooed against the Rays. Against the Rays. Sorry, is Houck here. He had some horrible outings. How good he's been, as much as I bet, and his record's 3-4, but a 2.2 ERA. There's a few guys that have great numbers off him. Last year, he gave up a 4 spot, a 5 spot, to a 7 spot, 6 earned. So this guy just came back. He's been swinging a hot bat. He's 3 for 3 off Houck. Give me Josh Lowe here. You think he's going to be in the 3 hole? I'm still waiting on the lineup, but I'm pretty sure he'll be there. RBI plus 170, and it's Jack plus 650. I believe Cuzzy's behind the dish, so I'm on him. Josh Lowe.
Josh Lowe, baby. And speaking of Cuzzy behind the dish, I am on Taj Bradley, 5.5, minus 118 right now on FanDuel. Guys, get in where you fit in. Cuzzy is a pitcher's umpire's dream, fellas. Let me talk.
True. Yeah. Shout out to the chat trade. Hey, my man, Jimmy Gomez, JT. What up?
Yeah, they
Truth
took
is.
out Grissom in this Red Sox lineup, and that was the one guy I had that probably wasn't going to strike out. So I don't even need to look at Hamilton. And, yeah, I've done the work on everybody else. And even if he's as good as Grissom, cool. They still have one guy who I still think that would be one guy. So we're on Tosh.
Let's get it. All right, I'm going to do this next guy. This was kind of my last one. I got a 5-piece here for you. I'm going to Cody Bellinger. Cubs have done jack shit. The first few days against the Braves, obviously, shut them down yesterday. Great numbers versus lefty. Not that lefty, Sharpie, as he dominated. I think there could be runs. The Braves, though, are just on this crazy under streak. It's like, I don't know what it is. 16 out of 18. The last 11, it's 10-1 to the under. And they've been winning games. They're just not giving up a ton of runs. Pitching staff's been pretty good in this one. But Bellinger will be in the 3-hole. He's 6 for 17, 3 doubles and a triple off Charlie Morton. He's seen him plenty of times. Morton's been pretty good. But this is the day maybe the Cubs can get some runs after they've been dormant. His over 1.5 total bases is plus 145. The Ribby's a little bit more. But in this spot, I'll take Bellinger with the success he's had and put a little on his jack, plus 600. I had to take the big price.
Man, gotta love Lil. He's streaky too, though, man. So, Cody B.
Cody B. All right, let me keep it rolling here. Let's go to the Yankees. This guy's maybe cooled just a little bit, but the numbers off Pablo Lopez are gaudy here. Juan Soto, RBI plus 170. He's 10 for 27, 3 doubles, 3 bombs. And he's the guy that I was going to soon lay off. I think he got a couple hits last night as I was going through everything. He finally had a couple offers. Yeah, 1 for 4, 1 for 4. But I got to take him. The numbers just are way too good. So his Ribby plus 170 and the homer plus 420. And let's go to the Astros here late. This guy I haven't touched at all, Sharpie. I've had a lot of Tucker, a lot of Altuve. Alvarez is kind of priced out for me a lot of the days. But Bregman, finally, I reeled this guy the other day. And what's he do? He's hit a couple homers. He's hit 6 straight games. I think he's brought his average from 183 to 225. Multiple hit games, too. So this one was the lone wait for me. Sharpie, the last 2 days he's been in the 5-hole. They put him up in the 2-hole. But either way, I'm going to be on one of his over 1.5 or the Ribby. It's like plus 130, 35. The other one's plus 155. Just red hot. And we got Brooks here going 4 for 5 with a homer off him. Red hot. So first time I'm taking Alex Bregman here for the year and put a little on the homer, plus 575. I got to be on Bregman. And let's get to my last one.
I said the same thing yesterday to Trey. I'm like, bro, I can't believe I didn't bet Bregman yesterday. I was like, I don't bet hitting props, but where he was at in the lineup versus a lefty and the pressure's off of him now, this is when this fool's going to smoke, bro. Like, he hit from the 3-hole. So what? You took the pressure off of him now? You got to remember shit like that.
Oh, yeah. He eats lefties, too. But I'll take him against a righty like this if he's just red hot versus Brooks. But that's a guy I want. Let's get to a guy who eats lefties. The weather ain't great. It's rainy. It's 50 degrees. There's a lefty on the mound here. Lucchese, whoever the fuck it is. Alec Bohm, automatic take. He's at 358. The last 2 weeks, only 2 games where he hasn't had a hit. I have to keep taking him. Lefties is just a must take. The RBI is plus 150. The homer 625. Who knows how bad this wind is? It says it's straight in. I'm not so sure. One thing, the RBI, definitely. I got to be on it. He's going to be in the 4-hole, most likely. He eats lefties, and this isn't a fluke. And maybe this is the breakout year, Sharpie, that maybe he gets like 120 RBI, something like that. A guy that was kind of on the cusp that really, really could break out. Not a pure home run hitter, but could hit 25 and have 125 ribbies in that spot with his Phillies lineup. So got to stay on just kind of a play here off a lefty, just a must play that's been cashing. Alec Bohm, plus 150 ribby.
There it is, fellas. He brought it in, guys, on a fucking crap card, too. He showed up and gave you the freaking work. It was kind of nice that some of these games at least started soon, but appreciate you as always, Conor Mack, my boy. Let these guys know what you got going on, where they can find you.
Just Conor Mack picks. Check me out wherever, whenever. Also, I want to hit the late game real quick here, Sharpie. It's the constant. What do we get here tonight? This Dodger game with Webb on the mound, back at home where he pitches his best. He's either been very good in lights out or he's gotten tattooed here by the Dodgers. A lot of them at Dodger Stadium, but a few here in San Francisco. So I don't know what we get. And I'm always that guy if the Dodgers scored 10 runs. A lot of those were in the ninth, 4 or 5 of them. That game I had the under. 6-1. I thought it was in, and nah. So I don't know what, but the numbers are just crazy here. Mookie Betts, Freddie Freeman, even a few other guys. Will Smith, Muncy have really, really good numbers, and it's tough to go against the Dodgers. But watch out, Logan Webb. This could be a game where he pitches well. So I just wanted to put that out there. That it had me pump the brakes a little bit.
Taj Bradley is now minus 136. That don't mean a goddamn thing. It just means I got a better number. But that's why you wait for lineups. As soon as lineups come out, weird shit happens. And like I said, I wasn't worried with the way it was. And they took out the one guy I was worried about. So let's just freaking have a day today. Let's have a day today, Connor. Can we have a day today? Let's have a fucking day today.
Please. Let's get it, baby. Thanks for having me, Sharp.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Just Conor Mac picks. As always, I love coming on, brother. I'll see you soon. Peace.
Man, smoked me a little bit too much right there. Let me tell you. Right there. Let's get in, guys, to the next guy on the board right now. The two bets I have in are posted on the screen. John Gray, guys, gets the Guardians, striking people out 25.5% on the year, while walking people 6.5%. Morning line was 4.5 minus 164, or it was 5.5 at plus 120. And now you can only get a 5.5 at plus 130 on MGM. Pitching outs were 18.5 minus 210 juice to the under, whereas earned runs are at a 2.5 minus 120 juice to the over. Projected lineups is 8 lefties and 1 righties. John Gray, guys, gets his shot at the Guardians after last week. The books tried to drop him, and we still hit our 6.5 on him. And now he gets a Guardians team who over the past 15 days have been one of the best teams in baseball, as they're walking near 10%, striking out only 18% of their at-bats, while being top 5 in isolated power. Now, Gray has some past history here, guys, as 5 of the projected 9 in this lineup have seen Gray at least 4 at-bats, totaling in 49, and those 5 are only striking out at just a 12% clip versus Gray. And it can actually get worse for Gray, guys, if they want to put Hedges in today for Naylor, which they can, as well as inserting Laureano, which they can as well, as then they have 7 guys who have seen Gray with a combined 79 at-bats, which is a legit K percentage or a legit amount of bats. And his strikeout percentage goes up to 14% from 12%. Yes, that is technically better, but no, that is better for me wanting the under here, guys, because I'll take the under in a heartbeat if I get those projected 7. As Floro, Manzano, and Bo Naylor, guys, is where we get into the problems of this lineup. All 3 are striking out 27% or more of their at-bats the last 15 days. As this being a no-fly zone, when Quana's in, this lineup has been able to been hit on, guys, at the back half. It's just they're not living up to the part. But if we get to the 7 that I want, we got a no-fly zone lineup, guys. And when Gray seen a no-fly zone last year, he was 1-5 to the over 5.5, 2-4 to the over 4.5, averaging 4 strikeouts a game. So yeah, guys, if I get this lineup, I expect it to move to a 4.5, and I'll still bet that under as well, guys. At the end of the day, this guy has struggled versus the no-fly zones. And if you give me 7 people, 79 at-bats with a 14% K rate versus them in their career, there's only one way to go. And that way is to go under. So I will not bet them over. I will tweet it out if I get on the under, as I'm waiting for a projected lineup. That lineup will have Hedges and Laureano in it. As of right now, they are not projected in it. Last guy we're going to talk about today is Big Fram Diesel, and he gets his shot at the Oakland A's, striking people out just 19% on the year while walking people 7.5% of the time. Morning line was 6.5 at plus 110, where the best line available is 6.5 plus 108 on FanDuel. Pitching outs is 18.5 minus 200 juice to the under, whereas earned runs are at a 2.5 minus 160 juice to the under as well. Projected lineup for the A's is 9 righties with 0 lefties. Fram Diesel, guys, gets the A's, who over the past 200 plate appearances versus lefties, they're not walking. They're not striking out at just 21% of their at-bats, while being top 5 in the league in isolated power. And the books jump up Valdez's K-prop to a 6.5 after not having more than 6 in a game this year. to a team's K percentages that says don't jump them up? Okay, let's go check past history, guys, if that's the reason to jump him up, as he has seen at least 6 people in this lineup with 4 at-bats or more, totaling in 53 at-bats, and he is striking them out at a 28% clip. So, okay, I can see what the books are seeing here. Yet when I do go who whiffs at the sinker in this projected lineup, it's just one, with only 2 of the 9 batting below 273 versus that pitch. So 7 of them get a hit, 1 of every 3 bats versus the 1 pitch he throws 52% of the time. Yet, guys, 2 of the 7 are batting below 200 of those 7 that are hitting the sinker versus Valdez in a nice amount of at bats. So we do got to expect the past history to play out there. So I'm starting to see what the books are seeing, guys. Is yes, I wanted to take Valdez's outs over. Is he is a ground ball machine. His ground ball percentage of 64% is 20% higher than league average, and he's at home. And that still may be the play, guys. But with 5 guys who could be on base, is how Valdez hits his over on his K prop. As this guy has no problem pitching to contact going deep into the game. Yet if you get on second base, he goes into full-blown hog mode. And like most aces, that's when they do look for the strikeout, as any contact now scores a run. And that shit happened, guys, in his very first game last year versus the A's, as the lineup K percentage said no, yet the whiff and the past history said yes. I took the over 6.5. He hit his over 6.5 on his last batter, pitching 9 innings versus the A's last year. And that was because a guy got a double and was on second base. And then he had to go into hog mode, guys. So the fact that a lot of these guys are hitting his pitch is actually making me want think that, okay, this is how this man actually hits his over today, guys. So I get what the books are doing by jumping him up with the past history. And I get how he gets it, but I'm not trying to bet that, as that's if the game plays out that way. I thought going into this game that he was just going to pitch to contact. Now, he is in Houston where the ground is wet. Yes, these guys are hitting very well. They're hitting the sinker very well, which is his main pitch. But none of these guys are good at any of his breaking ball pitches. So if they get to 2 strikes, he can strike them out. So it's over or nothing on Valdez today, guys, even though he's not had 7 strikeouts in a game yet this year. I see the path of how he gets it. I'm just not willing to bet that myself. Right now, I've got 2 bets in. I am on over 5.5 strikeouts of Taj Bradley. Minus 118 has moved up. And then I'm on Michael King over 6.5 at minus 140 as well. We'll be looking to take John Gray under if I can get Hedges and Laureano in that lineup. If not, I'll just kick my feet back, play these 2, and hopefully not get a push type day, as I've only had 3 losing days in the month of May. Just had way more days where I end up walking away with juice, whether I win it or lose it. And I know that's supposed to be okay. Like, oh, you can't win every day. But, man, it fucking sucks when you grind for hours and you walk away with nothing, man. But I guess I'd rather walk away with nothing than end up losing money. So, yeah, let's just keep fucking shooting. Shooters shoot. Wait for our spots. We've got 2 spots right now. Hopefully we get us a 3rd. And until then, I'll see you guys all on Friday. Why? Because that's the next time this show is. That's why. If you like what you're hearing, smash that fucking like button. If you love what you're hearing, go hit that retweet. And if you're new to this channel, hit that subscribe button as well. I'm going to fucking end it with the song that I get ready to. And I don't care if they tell me not to play it. Because why? Because fuck them. That's why.